Job, if you want to read it later, chapter 1, verses 13 to 15, we know all about the situation of Job. And Job was one of the wealthiest men in the world until the devil challenged his motives. His sons and his daughters are eating in the older brother's house, and a messenger comes to Job with devastating news. He says, the ox and the donkeys are taken away and killed, and they've killed all your servants. You call that trial? And he gets another message before he had time to breathe, it seems like, as we read the scriptures. Another message comes, and fires come down from heaven and come and burned up the sheep and the servants, and they're all gone. Think his faith is tried yet? Think God maybe has a plan of doing something in him? Another comes, and there's been a raid on your camels, and they're all taken, and your servants are all killed. He has no livestock left. And then the message comes, a great wind has come and collapsed. Now what's the chances of the enemy having all his children in the same house at the same time? Another message, a great wind has come and collapsed, and your house of your son is gone, and all your children are dead. I don't know about you, but that would be a test of my faith. I wonder what my response would be. And in verse 20, we have Job's response. Then Job arose, tore his robes, and shaved his head. In despair? You would think so. But then it says he fell to the ground and moaned and groaned. No, he fell to the ground and worshipped. Do we worship? Not easy to worship in your time of mourning, is it? No. Not easy at all. No one condemns when we don't worship in our time of mourning. But we find strength in worship. It says he worshipped. He fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. And the Lord giveth, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. It takes an awesome faith in God, sister, to say, the Lord has given me my child, and the Lord has taken him away. But God will bless you when you acknowledge, and you will rise above it all, when you acknowledge that God is sovereign and God knows what's best. Job's motives were tested. In all his lost, he lost everything. And now he was stark naked of soul. He had nothing left, only the ability that God had given him to worship God. And because he knew God and God alone, and he trusted in him, and he trusted in him when everything was going well, but Job knew him well enough that he trusted him in the darkest night of his life. I just want to stand and say, oh God, I don't know what the darkest night is. I haven't experienced the loss of a child, and experiencing the loss of a father is bad enough. I have not experienced some of the agony that you have personally gone through. So you may say, well, it's easy for you to stand. I can only stand humbly before God and say, God, when I do have to pass through certain valleys that I know nothing about yet, I want to know that I know that I know. I stand in faith in God today, and I will stand in faith in God tomorrow. Can we trust him? Trust him in the darkest night of our souls. It's more important to be changed within us than to change our circumstance. God is more important with changing us than changing our circumstances. And if we can take our circumstances and live through them and and be changed and be drawn to Him and become closer to Him and become more like Him, so that when we walk into people's presence, that they know that there's something different about the way we handle the crisis than those who do not know Him. The way we seek God can say more about our desires. Let me say this again. The way we seek God can say more about our desires than it does about our confidence in His eternal power, His wisdom, and His honor. Let's be careful how we pray, that we're not just concentrating and focusing on our desires, and we want it so bad that we forget that God is all-powerful. God is eternal. God has our best interest at heart. He is the one of wisdom, and we know not what He is doing at times. So we stand and we are content to know that I am in the arms and the hands of a loving Father, and He will only do what's best for me. Are we patient? Are we patient people or impatient? How do you behave when you're waiting in a restaurant? Shh, don't tell me. This is for personal thought only. How do we behave when we're waiting in a lineup and someone comes and just kind of friendly butts in front of you? How do we behave when we're sitting in the car and we want to have road rage? Do you get the results that you really want and feel really good about it when it's all said and done and your rage is calmed down? Or your impatience is calmed down? Do you feel good? Do you think that you have the mind of Christ and you can go on your way rejoicing? What approach do we have when we pray? Because you see, who we are, we tend to carry that over in our spiritual life. So when we pray, are we patient? Are we patient? Say, God, I'm here, Lord. I'm calm and I'm mild and I have this need. And I know you just know my need, Lord, so I'm asking again, Lord, but I just know you'll do it in the right time. Or are we more like, Lord, I'm coming again. I've come over and over and over. And do you even know where I am? Do you even know my address? Do you even care about me at all? Come on, what's our right response here?
Oops.
We have Hannah. That's a new beginning, Hannah. But it's Hannah. We have Hannah and we have Michelle in the scriptures. We have two different approaches. Here we have two women. Both are Hebrew. They're same race, same culture, same culture, and both long to have a baby. The greatest gift a husband was given was a baby, a son. Not much has changed today, because the biggest honor a woman could have was to have a son. And even still today, man finds worth in what he does. Come on, right? A man finds worth in what he does, in his successes, in his job, and all these things. And a woman finds what? Worth in her children, in her family, in her home. And so it was in this day. Hannah's result was the